I had to borrow this video from the liberal hive mind. If you haven't already subscribed to his channel, look it up on YouTube and subscribe. Sometimes he posts 4 or 5 videos a day. At times he can be redundant, but every once in a while he presents an important subject in such a clear fashion even a troll should be able to understand. Well, this video on Kari Lake needs a closer look. A little background on the subject. I know I've been praying since 1976 that someone would get into politics, record irrefutable evidence about the bribes and corruption in the government, and we would have them. Well, here it is. All the evidence to prove how the government is working against the American people. This is what millions of us have been praying for. And did you see the outrage from both parties? Did you miss all the news stories about our elected representatives standing up and vowing to put an end to the corruption revealed in this video? You didn't miss it. No one raised a voice, no one said a thing. The left media never covered this story, nor will they. So lesson number 1. This video also exposed how the media is on the plan and on the take. Wouldn't it be great if we had an agency that investigated the corruption displayed in this video and bring those people to justice? Lots of luck with that. We see those agencies questioned by Congress almost every day. All just a dog and pony show. Nothing is ever done. I guess what we need to do is take a closer look at this video ourselves and look into the details on the surface and compare those to what we already know and see exactly what is or has been exposed.
Well, the Daily Mail just released a bombshell audio recording involving Kari Lake and another top Republican, an individual by the name of Jeffrey James DeWitt. And well, let's just say what you're about to hear is absolutely insane. I'll just leave it at that. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so don't need any context. You just have to listen to this.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So.
Now this right here identifies the individuals and identifies a bribe, which should be enough evidence to launch an investigation, but where is it?
Conversation never had.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This is a wrap. Don't go. Do me a favor though. I don't get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
I won't doubt that either. Today's world, man.
Now this right here quickly escalates from a bribe, money, to murder. And you could say, well, Kari Lake is just trying to set the guy up. But wait a second, because he takes the bait, hook, line, and sinker.
If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They said the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what.
Okay, what do we have here? Keep in mind, this guy is a Republican, and he's actually bragging about the cartel being in all 50 states, which means he knows, just imagine what he knows. He's threatening Kari Lake with the cartel, which means he's in on the open border, he supports the open border, and he sees ways of making money from the open border, and he is working for people that are making money on the open border. How much worse could this get? Well, let's see.
Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out, don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future.
My problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate, because they don't own me, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
So what do we have here? We have a Republican working with the Democrats, and if this doesn't prove that they're all working with the cartel, I don't know how much more evidence do we need? Something's got to be done.
They want you to be on their team.
But
Just team. You know?
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
They want you to stay out for 2 years.
Now we're seeing the evidence mount. We're also seeing how smart Kari Lake is. She led them right into the next part of the subject, the globalist being involved. So now what do we have? So far we've got Republican working with the Democrats, working with the cartel, and she introduces the subject of the globalists. And how does the guy respond to that? Well, let's see.
But I'll tell you what I can offer you. But I said you can do whatever she wants. Talking head, this and that. So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, here's the between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
Okay, time to put on our little thinking caps, put together the facts that are presented in this video and what we already know. So, this all comes from the East Coast. Well, I'd hate to say it, but where does Soros and somebody others live? New York? Okay, and what's the other thing that we see in this video? Well, basically, they're offering her a job for a major corporation. Now, what's the name of that organization that Soros runs that has a collection of a whole bunch of the major organizations, companies in the world, and basically hundreds of media sources? Well, wouldn't that be the World Economic Forum? So basically, we're seeing we're proving all of these conspiracy theories in one video. And what else we got to find out here?
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad, bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not, but at the same time, I'm not even sure Trump can win again. I don't know that he can win again. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda, it's just about the ability to raise money to win.
Well, here we go again. We see Kari Lake exhibiting her intelligence, working with a woke personnel, a woke representative, and we can see how Kari Lake is 10 steps in front of him. So Kari Lake introduces the next subject that she wants to probe. What does this have to do with Trump? And of course, what's his name? Jeff the woke. He doesn't know how to answer it. You know, he sidesteps the question, and guess what? He brings it right back to money again. That's what their mind is on. That's why they can't think clearly. They got a one-track mind, and that is it.
If you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money, I think. Absolutely. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money?
I know. All these consultants don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm
feel
not,
like
if
the
they're
guy.
going
He's
to
not-
steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting him do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
you don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
You pause. And refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now. The battle is right now, and we don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
You have to love the way Kari Lake is handling the entire conversation. She's molding, she's controlling the conversation. She's moving it along in steps that, this wasn't a prearranged discussion. It came out of the blue, but Kari Lake is maneuvering this Jeff into answering questions that she wants recorded, that she wants to share with. And realistically, she is putting her life on the line. And she is calling it a battle. The Kari Lake, this isn't only a battle for the United States, for the Constitution, but it is a spiritual battle. And we're going to cover some more of that later. But you can see the woke individual is so tied up in money, that's all he cares about. That's all the people that he works for cares about. It's all about the money, and nobody cares about us. We're only a source of money for them. That's all we are. They're parasites.
You're not. You can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have something to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. I've been on the outs with a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. Where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Well, there we have it. And this is coming from a Republican, remember. A Republican that's working with the Democrats and working with the cartel and working with the globalist. Why does he say steal the election again? What do we gather from that? And as you know, he's basically talking about scratching backs and everything else. I mean, he's proven these people are nothing but parasites. And we got to do something about it. Let's hear what Kari has to say.
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it? So that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
I know. Look.
Well, here we go. And you have to admire Kari's courage. I mean, realistically, you heard her answer. She doesn't have to go into any more depth than that. It's all about money with the globalist, and guess what? They're willing to do anything for that money. And that's where we're sitting right now. They admitted they stole the election. They admit they're parasites. They admit if you can't scratch our backs, you're useless, and we don't have any other use for you. So, there you go.
You don't have to...
And so you see exactly what I was alluding to in the intro. You see this kind of thing in your mind. You know that it exists under the surface. It's just hard to pinpoint it. It's hard to find an actual clear example. Shady backroom deals and political corruption is notoriously hard to fix because it's hard to identify. It generally happens in the shadows. Well, not this time because Kari Lake recorded the whole thing. And what's crazy is that Kari Lake actually mentioned that this happened. The individual in question, Jeff DeWitt, denied that it did happen or that he was a part of it. And then boom, the audio file drops.
Well, you would think the story ends there. We have the evidence. Republicans are working with Democrats who are working with the cartel as their strong-armed soldiers, and they're all taking orders from the globalists who look at you as a source of money, and if you don't have money, you're useless. And of course, they admitted to fixing elections to further their cause and increase their control. But we need to take a look at Kari's response And that's where she shows what she's made of and what she believes is happening.
Who told Jeff DeWitt to bribe me? I don't know. I wish I did know. As a matter of fact, I've thought about it many a day since then, and I've laid awake at night wondering who it could have been, what group, what person. But isn't it sad that you could literally, for 24 hours, think about it, wonder, guess, and that our government is so corrupt. Washington, D.C., the people back east, as he said, is so corrupt that you could literally probably come up with a list of about 400 or 500 people and groups that are behind this. And that's the sad thing. And this is why I am getting into politics. I'm in politics. This is why President Trump is in politics, because we want to make sure that we root out that kind of corruption. We can't have that kind of corruption happening in Washington, D.C. And frankly, it starts in Washington, in D.C., and it moves down into capitals across the country, into the state houses, into the municipalities. And what happens is people run for office, and immediately they get bribed, they get blackmailed, and they become controllable. And this is what's wrong with our country.
What do you think of Jeff DeWitt's resignation letter?
What do I think of Jeff DeWitt's resignation letter? Well, it came very late. I didn't see an apology to the people of Arizona. He tried to act like the behavior you heard on that audio is normal communication amongst friends. It's disgusting. And I think he did a horrible job, and he should have just apologized, resigned, and apologized and said he's going to work to do better. Pray for our movement, pray for our country, and pray that we have to, and I know this is hard because sometimes I don't want to pray for the people I don't like. We have to start praying for the people who are opposing bringing our country back. We have to pray for, I don't even want to call them enemies because I don't think I have any enemies, but we have to pray for the people who are pushing back against saving our country, the people who we look at with maybe disdain, and pray that they find God, because this is really a good versus evil battle that we're in. It's truly a good versus evil. And I know that we're weary and tired. I'm exhausted. We've been up since God knows when. We just flew back on a very long 5.5-hour flight. We're all tired. We're going to get up tomorrow and do it again, and just pray every day that God uses you and gives the skills that he gave you, that you can use those to help save our country. I would love it if you'd pray for my family and our safety. That would mean a lot to me. Pray for our country and that we are successful in saving this great, great republic.
We feel lost and we don't know what to do.
Oh.
What can we do to help the movement, and what can we do to help America?
Oh my gosh. I just want to look. I wish I could look into your faces right now. We are not lost. We are coming back. Our best days are ahead of us. The fact that you're sitting here watching this in the middle of the week shows that you're involved, you're engaged, you care, just like I do. I mean, I never in a million years, 5 years ago, would have seen myself, envisioned myself in politics in the middle of a political movement, but here we are. And everywhere I go around the country, I go to liberal cities, liberal states, conservative cities and conservative states, and people everywhere come up and say, thank you for fighting. Thanks for talking about election integrity, for fighting for it. Thank you for being involved. This next 10 months is going to rely on every single one of us to use our God-given rights, and or God-given abilities, I should say, to save our God-given rights. Your abilities might be, you might say, well, what abilities do I have when it comes to politics? Maybe it's just picking up a phone and you like to talk to people and calling people, getting involved in a phone bank. Maybe it's answering emails for a campaign. Maybe it's protesting some of this ridiculous stuff you're seeing that the left is pushing. And by protesting, I mean not buying products that are pushing this agenda on our children. Or maybe protesting means literally holding a sign up and saying you're not for something. We all have to get involved. Get involved with your local Republican club, whether it's Republican Women's Club, whether it's the state party. And I'm hoping that after Saturday, we're going to have a very strong Arizona state party. Get involved with campaigns. We have to be involved the next 10 years. And most importantly, use your voice. The most important and the strongest and most potent weapon we have is our voice. So we got to use our voice and make sure that we are speaking out about the candidates we like. Don't worry about what the media says. Speak out and support President Trump and myself and everybody else who's a America First candidate. Are we good? Okay, guys. I'm so glad that you joined me. I appreciate it. I'm exhausted. I'm sure you are. It's been a very long few days. We just came from the East Coast. And I appreciate you for being here. I wanted to answer questions of everybody in the media who had asked me. But frankly, there's not enough hours in the day. We had hundreds of media requests, and I'm going to try to get to some individual people in the media in the next couple of days. But I appreciate you joining me here. This whole reason that we are in this movement, this whole reason that we were born at this time is to be here for this moment. I believe that with all my heart. Just as our founding fathers were here 247, 250 years ago, for that moment, God placed them there and he placed us here. We are here at this moment for a reason. God put us here, and this is not an accident. We're here for a reason. I'm honored to be here in this fight with you. It's me and you and all of us together. And as Americans, I do see a day when we come together. I want to be working together with Americans to make sure that we are fighting so much to save this country. And so let's do it. You see the KariLake.com. If you can go there, you can learn where I stand on the issues. If you can make a donation, if it's $1, if it's $10, if it's $100 or $1,000, it's appreciated. Anything you can do. We have to support those candidates who are standing up against corruption and for the people. Got 10 months to save our country. I'm going to do everything I can. Every single thing I can to do whatever I can to save this country. And I do believe we do it. I've had people come out to me and they say, we've already lost it. No, we haven't. We've not lost it. We got 10 months to save it. Raise your hand. I don't care if you're at home alone. Raise your hand if you're in this with me, because I can't do it alone. President Trump is a friend. He's one of the strongest people I know. He can't do it alone. We got to support him. We got to support me. I'm supporting you. We're all in this together. And we got to fight back against the corruption, and it is deep. So thank you for being here, and let's do this again. I appreciate the thousands of you who showed up. I love you all, and we're gonna take back this beautiful country.
I didn't want to interrupt Kari Lake's response. I wanted to see that as a whole, and I think it's really powerful. Well, we all heard about the 3%. And we know that refers to the population of the original colonies standing up against the world's most powerful nation and army in the world. Well, if we look at the 450-some people in Congress, what do we have? 15, maybe 20 we can trust who are actually willing to stick out their necks and do what's right? Now, Kari was right about this stuff moving down. We see corruption at every level of government. Especially now, we're seeing quite a few mayors who openly take control of a city, take off the mask, and are not afraid of being called out for stealing taxpayer funds. At this moment in time, they actually believe they are untouchable because they are backed up by all the Democrats, up to the president, as well as who knows how many Republicans, the cartel, and the globalists. They actually believe they are in total control and there is nothing we can do. Now, Kari mentioned praying for the left. And Kari releasing this video exposing the open corruption is only the beginning. How many on the left are actually getting close to calling it quits and exposing even more details? You know, if some people on the left are sitting on the fence and they see this video, that just might be enough for them to decide what side they're on. And we know God is working on them 24/7, and our prayers may be just what they need to jump the swamp and come clean in ways we can't even imagine. Now, praying for Kari and Trump and the few leaders we have, the video showed the left has an established army and is willing to use it. We need to pray for their protection and the few leaders we have, as well as for ourselves and, of course, our families. Now, getting involved. Kari named a few ideas. Now, pray about them and take action. Okay, get your orders directly from God. That's the only way we're going to win this thing. Now, you might consider joining an organization. You can meet people with the same mindset and encourage one another. If you've ever been to a Trump rally, you know what I mean. They are the friendliest people that would give you the shirt right off their backs. And meeting these people and knowing they're real is really important. And we know there's at least 70 million of us, and that number is growing every day. And we can expect a lot more when and if the agenda on the left is exposed. Now, another thing is avoid spending money on companies who fund the globalist. Now, that's just common sense. Do not fund the enemy. Don't give them your money to use against you in the future. And that might be a little bit of sacrifices, but I know checking around and everything else, I buy some stuff off Amazon, but I also get on the internet, check it out. You know what? It's like 80% of the time now, and I'm doing this, I'm finding out that I can buy the same product in town from a local store that's Patriot owned for a lower price. So what's wrong with hopping in the car, taking a drive, and you know what? You actually meet more Patriots in the stores like that than anywhere else. And write your representatives. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, if I write my representative, I might be put on some list. Don't be afraid. That's what the prayer is for. That's what meeting other people and finding out that we are the vast majority that wants to straighten out this nation. And by writing your representatives, you're going to show them that you're not afraid of them. Now, I like Kari's reasoning that we are all here at this moment for a reason. And to know your abilities and use them. I can start that by hitting the like button, sharing this video, getting it all out, and doing all the other things that Kari suggested. Have a great day, and let's keep this nation free for the next generation.